try not to pick it apart, because if you try to go, oh, I'm gonna look at all the transitions here. No, I just am looking at it going like, I was watching it and I was like, oh yeah, I was looking for transitions. I have to rewind it because it was such a great movie. I was immersed in the story again.
You're like a newspaper guy, like, transitions here, transitions.
Hello, and welcome to Awesome Movie Twaddling.
To twaddle, to talk foolishly, predict foolish, trivial, or idle talk or chatter.
We get together, we talk about films and just general filmmaking. We break down storytelling elements within some of our favorite movies, and we just twaddle about them. I'm Adolfo, an independent filmmaker, writer, director, VFX artist. I sometimes can be seen underwater fighting bad guys or just jumping out of airplanes.
My name's JP. I'm an actor, producer, writer. I sometimes can be seen with my face superimposed on a 7-year-old girl.
I like the way you think, Toots. You're officially my new favorite babysitter.
Oh, wow. You're a hottie.
Can I help you, little dude?
And I'm ready to kick the fires and light the tires.
I'm Adam. I'm an Academy Award viewer. You can see me watching the Academy Awards sometimes, or I'm helping Adolfo with his films, driving a car, getting shot at, things like that.
And at the later part of every episode, we have the MTB, the Mystery Twaddle Box.
Ah, the mystery twaddle box. Well, I just so happen to have a chance cube here. There's 2 different sides on the chance cube. We're all going to roll this chance cube. There's a silver side and a black side. Whoever wins the roll will open up the mystery twaddle box. The mystery twaddle box can contain anything in the universe.
The film we're going to discuss today is 1917. We felt this was a good one to dive into because of the cinematic, experience we went through with this film. I mean, if you talk about what films have you seen the last decade or two, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be done too often. This is why I feel like it's a good one to talk about. Basically, the premise is 2 war soldiers in World War I get given a message to go ahead and deliver to the front lines to their fellow soldiers across
No Man's Land.
They go across no man's land to stop their fellow soldiers from walking into a trap that's going to pretty much destroy them all. Small 2 guys, you see their point of view the whole time, and the stakes are so high. So much is on the line, and this is why it's not your typical war story, and that's what I think is great about it. But what makes this movie separate from anything that I've seen in the past is the idea that they were going to try to accomplish this in one continuous sequence. Not really one shot, but we follow these characters without too much jumping of time or cuts, because they really wanted you to go into this world with these soldiers and really experience what it meant to be a soldier in World War I. Now, I mean, I've dabbled a little bit in long shots, long takes, one-shot movies, but nothing to this scale, where we hide transitions, kind of like they do here. And we can stop production, get the next set and scene ready, and then continue the next scene, which is great and fun. And you have fun with trying to hide the transitions for the next scene, change locations. But then also I've done one where it's a long continuous take for 8 minutes. That's what this whole movie is one continuous. Some of the scenes are 8 minutes long. This is why this is so unique. You can always do long take films, right? Yeah. But to do it and look spectacular is a whole nother realm. That's why I feel like that's why this movie is special.
Well, and I think, kind of piggybacking off of what you're saying is you can do these movies, these long takes, right? But the fact is I guess Sam Mendes, the writer-director, he set up all these shots basically as a POV. So not only is it, this long continuous shot or mimicking a long continuous shot, but then there's purpose behind each one of these shots, and that's what I think is really interesting behind that. I guess what he's saying is that any shot is basically from the point of view of a soldier, and it could be from any side, which I think is I don't know, just gives that much more depth to what you are watching. You're watching it through the eyes of someone else. The reason for that was because of these war stories. This film is actually based on true events because he went around and got these stories, I guess, from his grandfather. That's what it was, right? Yeah. And so there are things in this movie that actually happened during World War I. he just took all of these stories and implemented them into this one story. Something that resonated with me, not just the fact that the whole movie is about getting a message from point A to point B, which we take for granted in our everyday lives right now, with the ability to text, but also the whole milk story, the whole milk subplot, where, you know, after his companion dies, the main character's companion dies, he gets this milk, and then he has to take that milk. He got it for himself, but he takes that milk and gives it to a newborn baby. And this is an actual story that happened in World War I. And I think it works really well in this film because the way it's set up is his friend dies, and then you give this thing that is representative of life to a newborn baby. But then it resonates so much more now that I know that it's real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess the beats were determined by the weather. And like a lot of this was just like, I guess, natural lighting if they're waiting on the sun. And something that we were kind of talking about before we started shooting, Adam and I, is he has a very big love for the director of photography.
Well, Roger Deakins has been one of my favorite cinematographers for a long time. I've been following him for years now, and I loved when he finally won his Academy Award that I watched for Blade Runner 2049. And this film is just like those. It's just so beautiful. Everything you see is just so open and just luscious to look at. And one of the things they had to do was make it so our two guys are walking along. Well, we're not going to follow them for all the miles that they're going. They have to have these things where they deal with movie time versus real time. So you're sitting there watching a movie for 2 hours. It's going to take them longer than 2 hours to get there. So they use little devices, like they get inside of a truck, and you can't see the outside of the truck, and they're conversing with fellows in the truck. And by the time they get out, who really knows how much time passed? We don't really know. We don't really care because we're with these guys the whole time. Another thing they do is one of the characters gets shot and he blacks out, and that's how they have that deal with the night passing. Because obviously the film takes place in the day and ends in the day, so a night happens. They got to deal with that. You're not going to have them just sitting there. I mean, that's a long movie. But what I would like to point out is these things they dealt with very nicely. I thought it was done in a way that was not distracting. It was like, and we talk about it now, like, okay, that's how they did it. But I mean, I understand that they dealt with these problems in a nice way within the narrative. Obviously, there's the things we know. Whenever someone passes in front of the frame and engulfs the whole frame, they can hide a cut there, especially if it's all black, or they use like CG rocks or something. But another thing they did was they had complete pieces of sets that they would pass the camera through, and when it got to a certain point, they'd pull it apart, and then the camera would just keep going, and that takes timing. And when we're talking about these really long takes, they had to get that down. I wouldn't be surprised if they spent months on one or two of those shots just to get the timing perfect, because they have guys on either side. I don't know how much these things weighed, but they had to pull these sets. The truck was one of those. They had to pull it apart to make it so the camera just could be fluid.
Kind of reminds me of Children of Men.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Within that vehicle.
Yeah.
The only time the camera kind of pulls away from the characters is really one of the best moments of the movie, in my opinion, and almost in cinema, is when he wakes up from the blackout, and then you enter this world of cinematography that is just what Roger Deakins just is why I feel like he deserves everything he gets. And obviously he's a legend, he's been around for a while, but the flare moment, and we're at night and all the flares are going off, and they're all orchestrated to the T, by the way. They're not just shot up in the air in the movie. They orchestrated everything on a string to make sure the lights are perfect, but the shadows, that's some of the best cinematography I've ever seen.
It was gorgeous. It was probably the most eye candy to look at in the whole movie.
Well, watching like a history, unfold in front of me is these people and these soldiers lived in these trenches for years. They lived there, and sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes, obviously, war happens. So this is it's an educational piece as well that is just everything I think came together, and it's a unique thing that you have the set design, you have the costumes, the cinematography, the director, the acting all had to be spot on, especially when you're doing one take for a lot of this stuff. He would talk about sometimes you'd light the cigarette, it would go off, it wouldn't work, and simple little things. You got to keep going. When he's running, the main character is running at the end. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite parts of the movie, he's running at the end and he's hitting guys because extras are running into each other. He has to just keep going. You got to keep going. So he caught back up to the camera.
And you could see he could see that the camera was,
That's why I think this is just it's a masterpiece in my opinion. So I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
How many transitions do you guys feel happen in this movie?
I feel like there's probably at least 50 times. That's just my gut feeling because I remember there's a lot of stuff happening in that, and they can hide them pretty well. So 50, I'll say.
27.
I see it. It says it right there. Well, I counted 64, it's around 64, 65. But I mean, I don't think we're ever really going to know. But those are the more... Some of them, obviously, I was watching this movie trying to assume where they might be, but I was, again, immersed in the story. Trying not to pick it apart because if you try to go, oh, I'm going to look at all the transitions here. No, I just am looking at it going like, I was watching and I was like, oh yeah, I was looking for transitions. I have to rewind it because it was such a great movie. I was immersed in the story again.
You're like a newspaper guy, like, transitions here, transitions.
What you're watching is an experience, and that's just so awesome. They did so much great things in this film, so... Yeah, for any of the crazy stuff we do and other films that we've done, you can go to n-ragemedia.com, and I have everything there.
You can find me on Instagram. That's actor versus realtor. It's all one word, and it's VS in the middle. So actor vs realtor.
I'm just on Facebook because I'm an old man, Adam Brooks.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. I think there's a like button here. There's a little bell icon that you probably have to click right here. We have 5 subscribers right now, so if you decide to leave us a comment, be gentle, I guess.
But hey, we'll take anything we can.
Okay, yeah, we'll take anything we can.
And share the video.
Yeah, share. Oh yeah, there's a share thing too. There's all these buttons you got to click. Click them.
Let's get a burrito. And now it's time for the MTB, the mystery twaddle box. Get ready, fellas, because here it comes.
Did that just come out of you?
Okay, I have the dice between Adam and you. Pick it off, black or silver.
Black as midnight.
Black. Okay, between you and I'm gonna choose silver. I win.
Congrats. Be gentle. Shout out to Full Freaker Productions for handing us this great, awesome background here. You must sacrifice your hair and deliver the most important message of your life.
Shout out to the MTB for what's about to happen to me.
Hey, you shaved.
No, I didn't. Who shaved me?
Must have been the MTB. She likes to do that from time to time.
The MTB is a she?
Yeah, you didn't know? She's a feisty little minx. Either way, so she whispered it in my ear last night, exactly everything you have to do right now. So we're at this field because you're gonna have to deliver this message to Sonny across the field here.
Sonny!
Hey!
You have 10 seconds or she's gonna open up a portal, you'll fall through it and be transported to the other end of the universe with no oxygen on the other side.
When did the mystery twaddle box become a mistress of evil that opens up portals to other dimensions and shaves people?
Ah, well, you must be new. Okay, I'll count you off and good luck, kid. Oh, and by the way, there's landmines filled all over this field here, so, but just be careful, okay?
Mines? Mines. This is a review show. Go! Okay. Oh, okay. Adam made me this. Okay, we got the 2% milk. All right, we're covered.
If you want to see more twaddling, watch how you might go blind, you can go right here, select more, or if you just want to subscribe, get notified for more short films and such, you can go right here and subscribe. Hit the notification and maybe you'll get notified for when the next crazy thing will happen.
Twirl those feet, kick those legs, get those legs, hit those legs.